Okay, we started recording. So, today we will discuss about the power of sound vibrations, the mantras. Okay, the sublime joy through sound. Feel the inner peace and joy. Okay. So today we will talk about the power of sound vibrations and scriptural references about those sound vibrations and scientific research about chanting and sound about the mantras, and we'll also study about the benefits of chanting mantras and uh, practicing that regularly. So first, before we go forward, um, there are two kinds of sound vibrations. Like one is a pure sound that is very beneficial for the for bringing peace, joy, happiness to the soul. There are two kinds of sound vibrations. One is very peaceful, very calm. It gives you sublime peace and happiness in our day-to-day life. And the second one is kind of sound vibrations that disturbs our mind or destroys our peace. For example, there are two kinds of literatures, right? One kind of literature is one that agitates the mind. In US, there was some time ago there was a novel that was produced by some author. It is about a detective novel, and that the sound vibrations produced out of that book has produced more than 100 thieves. It was recorded. It has produced more than 100 thieves because it was teaching people about how to loot, how to kill, how to rob. So the sound vibrations can influence a person in such a way that his life will completely change. Whereas if you take suppose sound vibrations from Ramayana, if you read Ramayana, what kind of sound vibrations you get? So you can take example of Gandhiji, Mahatma Gandhi. He read Ramayana at the age of 5 or 6, I think so. And after he read the Ramayana, he thought to himself. It was written in his Atmakada. He thought to himself that from now on I will speak only truth and I will live a life of good conduct. And later on, he went on becoming a father of the nation. That was the power of the sound vibrations that was produced from a literature like Ramayana versus a literature like a detective novel. So the sound vibrations are very, very important. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a very nice sloka where it describes about the difference between a swan and a crow. And it goes on and says, a swan lives in Manasa Sarovar in a peaceful and serene, in a graceful way. It drinks it can separate milk from ocean. So that is the kind of a nature of a swan. Whereas if you observe a crow, 2 3 crows or 4 5 crows come together and they assemble at a dustbin, and they feed themselves on dead rat, and they make loud noise. So that is the nature of a crow versus a swan. Bhagavatam nicely describes about the nature of two people, two different kind of people, based upon this example of swan and crow. So what we put in every day is what comes out. Garbage in, garbage out. Our mind is like we have discussed this in the past in one of the lectures where we studied about the mind, body, and soul. Garbage in, garbage out. If you put in garbage, we garbage also comes out. Like we have karmendriyas, jnanendriyas, right? Our mind is like the microprocessor. You put everything in, and all that comes out of the karmendriyas and jnanendriyas, the things that we. So suppose if you continuously influence yourself with dirty movies, like porn movies or blue films or bad kind of stuff, you see everybody in the same way. Your indriyas, your karmendriyas also act things in the same way. Suppose if you feed yourself with good sound vibrations, like from the messages from Bhagavad Gita, messages from Ramayana, if you continuously hear that, and that is the kind of way your karmendriyas and jnanendriyas also react to day-to-day day-to-day things, how we do our activities. And the whole entire creation was started from Omkaranatha, right? The entire creation was actually originated from Omkaranatha. We'll discuss some other time about the creation. It is very, very nicely described in Srimad Bhagavatam, how Brahmaji has created with the help of sound vibrations that he heard from Vishnu, Mahavishnu, sleeping on the casual ocean. So we will discuss that a little later. But the sound is very, very important. The pure sound, the power of sound is, we'll also study in this class how the scientific research also, how it proves the sound vibrations are very, very important. And see, we all might have experienced in our college days, even now, we had, like in our engineering college or in medical schools, we had like a cultural fest, right? There a DJ used to come in and he used to play very loud music, like 120 decibels music, right? It's like your heart is like a thumping. So that is, you might feel thrilled in the beginning for some time, but it actually disturbs your whole equilibrium. That kind of sound disturbs whole equilibrium. That's also scientifically proven. And suppose if you hear mantras, it gives you such a peace, and it puts you in a proper consciousness, proper state. So that is the power of sound. And today we will study in depth about that. See, the sound vibrations, the power of sound vibrations, how it can create revolutions. Like here Martin Luther King, how just by giving proper speeches, he uplifted his whole community, the black community, and he created such a revolution. It can invoke emotions, right? That is the power of sound. And there were many case studies were done, how the sound vibrations affect the growth of plants. If a nice music is given to plants, they produce good food also, and they grow nicely. It was scientifically proven, and it was case studies were done. And if you go to Aurobindo Ashram in Pondicherry, they show you, they display the experiment, how the sound vibrations creates, like if you put water particles, and if you subject the water particles to different decibels of sound, how the water behaves. It forms nice crystals, beautiful crystals at certain sound vibrations. And if you increase the sound, you will see how the water is completely agitated and disturbed. So the sound vibrations plays a very, very important role. And so what is mantra? We'll discuss a little bit about what is mantra. I'll show you the definition of mantra. So in our scriptures and Vedas, it is said, can you see this slide? Mantra shabdasya vyuptati traya vyuptatriyata mananatrayate yasmat tasmat mantraha prakritiritah. So mananatrayate means trayate means once something that uplifts, that something that elevates, something that destroys. Sorry, not destroys, something that protects, right? So manana means manas, mind. So something that uplifts our mind, something that elevates our mind. So there are three kinds of things: slokas, stotras, and bhajans. You know the difference between among these three things? Slokas means is something that has four padas. Sloka has four padas, and the pada is also written, is based upon chandas. It's a technicality in Sanskrit. It has like a lagu, guru, different technical aspects is considered in creating a sloka. Like 4 padas, it has a particular meter. So 4 padas is what makes a sloka, right? And stotra, stu means glorifying. Stotra means something you use to glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is called stotra. And bhajans means it is songs. So mantra is a short one. Mantra is usually a short one, like for example, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Like Dhruva Maharaj has done meditation using this mantra, right? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And then mantra, one other mantra is like Om Namo Narayanaya. This is also a mantra. Whereas a sloka means it has a four padas. That is what is a sloka. Mantras can be also longer than longer also, but usually mantras are something you continuously repeat, right? So what is the use of these mantras? Why do we need these mantras? Mantra means that something that elevates your mind, uplifts your consciousness. Trayate means it's also like protection. Protection means that's something that protects your mind. So why do you need to elevate your mind? Why do you need to elevate your consciousness? Why do you need to uplift your consciousness, and why does it need to be protected? This is an important thing. See, we have studied in the previous sessions where how our mind is subject to 3 gunas, sattva-guna, rajoguna, tamoguna, mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. How our mind is subjected to these 3 gunas. So if the mind, what it thinks is out of moha, it always thinks we are the doer. I'm this, I'm that, I'm doctor, I'm an engineer, I'm this, I'm that. If I'm not here, nothing will get done. I'm the director or whatever. Like you think you are the doer. That's what the mind makes you think. When the mind is attached to these 3 gunas, the 3 modes of material nature, sattva-guna, rajoguna, and tamoguna. So what the mantra does is mananatrayate. It uplifts the consciousness from that kind of thinking, the mind from moha. So suppose if you don't transcend yourself, suppose if you don't uplift your consciousness beyond that, what happens? That is the cause of repeated birth and death. That is the cause of repeated birth and death. That is why it is very much necessary. Everybody should practice mantras. Everybody should chant mantras. It is very, very important. Such sound vibrations. It's also described very nicely in Shastras how mantras not only help in this lifetime, but also it helps in next life also. There is a nice pastime in Srimad Bhagavatam. No, I think it's not in Srimad Bhagavatam. King Indradhamana Maharaj, you know, right? Yeah, it is in Srimad Bhagavatam. Gajendra Moksham. Gajendra Moksham. In Satyuga, there used to be a king called Indradhamana Maharaj. He's a great devotee of the Lord, but for whatever reason, he gets a curse, and then he gets a curse to take birth as an elephant, and in the next life when he's the elephant, he becomes the king of the elephant, and he gets stuck in the water and by crocodile, and then he remembers all the mantras that he learned in his previous life, and he chants those stotras, and finally he gets delivered from the Sudarshan Chakra of Lord Vishnu. So the Shastras describe the mantras not only help in this lifetime, but also it helps in next life also. It helps you to deliver your consciousness. Once your consciousness is purified, once your mind is purified and your intelligence gets purified, and you'll be able to control the mind. So mantras are very, very important. We'll see the sound vibrations, different. Okay. Mantra means man means mind. Tra means something that delivers. Mantra meditation. How mantra meditation helps us is we'll study today. So japa means personal meditation that you sit and nicely chant in the early hours every day in the morning during the Brahma Muhurta. Right? Sankirtan means congregational chanting. You chant congregationally. So where you have mridangas, where you have symbols like kartals, and where you chant nicely, that is sankirtan. So I will quickly do a small kirtan. We can maybe you can also participate. I'll just show you what is sankirtan, how it is done, and japa also. Can you please listen? So this is congregational chanting, right? Where everybody comes together and they chant the names of Lord Hari. So there are so many sages where they said how important the chanting of Mahamantra is. For example, Lord Rama, he recites, sorry, not Lord Rama, Hanumanji. Hanumanji always meditates on Rama. He chants the names of Rama. And Lord Shiva, right? Lord Shiva always meditates on Lord Vishnu. He is the Vaishnavanam Yata Shambho. Of all the Vaishnavas, in Bhagavatam it is described very nicely about Lord Shiva. how he is the Vaishnavanam Yatashambha. For all the Vaishnavas, he is the greatest Vaishnava, Lord Shiva. And how he always meditates on Lord Vishnu. That is japa. So, for example, you hold the beads, and you can also chant on the fingers also, like Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So something that you do to yourself, just maybe it's not loudly, it is just to do yourself, is called japa or personal meditation. Sankirtan means where you do congregation, where everybody is together and everybody plays kartals and mridangas, and they do congregational on the street, in the streets or in the temple, or wherever in a congregation. That is called Sankirtan. In Kaliga, of all the yajnas, Sankirtan yajna is the most important. So we will see the scriptural differences. What are all the scriptural differences about the sound vibrations? So okay, in Satyuga, the process of which there is for every yuga there is a yuga dharma. For every yuga there is a yuga dharma. For in Satyuga, the meditation on the super soul or Paramatma. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna describes how you can realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You can realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead in 3 different ways. One is Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Brahman is the effulgence coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, where the whole cosmic manifestation is within, is called Brahman. Whereas Paramatma is the localized aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is called Paramatma. He is within our heart. It is described in the region of heart, right next to your soul, Atma, and Paramatma. Right next to your soul, there is Paramatma also. It's just like a 2 parrots sitting on the bird, on the 2 parrots sitting on the green tree. So they are absorbed. One parrot is absorbed continuously in eating the fruit. It is described in Shastras. One parrot is continuously absorbed in eating the fruit, whereas the other parrot watches this parrot eating the fruit. So that is watching one eating continuously is Atma. So in Satyuga, to attain perfection, sages used to do meditation on the super soul, on the Paramatma, for many years, thousands and thousands of years. In fact, in Treta Yuga, the Yuga Dharma is performing extensive sacrifices. Yajnas, performing yajnas. I mean, for hundreds and hundreds of acres of land where they used to do yajna kundas, and then where they used to perform extensive sacrifices. That is the Yuga Dharma for Treta Yuga. And Dwapar Yuga, elaborate deity worship is the Yuga Dharma in Dwapar Yuga. Whereas in Kali Yuga, chanting the holy names of the Lord Hari, is the Yuga Dharma. So there is a very beautiful verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. I will read that verse for you. Krite yadhyayito Vishnum Tretayam yajito Makhaim Dvapara Paricharyayam Kalau Tat Dari Kirtanat. So it is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is described what is the Yuga Dharma in different Yuga cycles, in different Yugas, in each Yuga cycle, in different Yugas, what is the different Yuga Dharmas. So please listen carefully. Whatever result was obtained in Satyuga by meditating on Vishnu, whatever result was obtained in Satyuga by meditating on Lord Vishnu, in Treta Yuga by performing sacrifices, and in Dwapar Yuga by serving the Lord's lotus feet, can be obtained in Kali Yuga simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this is given in Srimad Bhagavatam. How we can attain the same kind of perfection by simply chanting the names of Lord Hari. It is there is a very nice song, right? If I can remember. Yanto ruchi, yanto ruchi, yanto ruchira. That describes about the taste of the names of Lord. Yeah, ni. Yanto ruchi, yanto ruchi, yanto ruchira. So it describes the beauty, how taste one can get by absorbing themselves in chanting the names of Lord Hari. So it is not only in our Vedic dharma only. It is also described in other religions also. For example, in Christianity, it says Christ glorified the Lord's holy name by saying, "Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name." So the name is very important. Nam namakari bahuda nija sarva shakti tatrarpita niyamita smaranena kalaha. एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमिदृशम् इहा जनिनानुरागः. So it is described in Sikshastakam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes how Krishna has invested so much energy. He has millions and millions of names like Govinda, Gopala, Madhava, Keshava. So he has so many names. And those names are his qualities. He has unlimited qualities and he has unlimited names. And how he has invested so much energy in his different names. So, but our unfortunate thing is we do not get attracted to those names. He has invested so much potency in the names, but unfortunately we do not get attracted to those names. Even in Muslim religion also, they repeatedly chant the names of Allah. In Christianity, they chant they chant on the beads also is called rosary, and Muslims also chant on beads the names of Allah. In Sikhism also, Guru Nanak prayed, "In the ambrosial hours of the mornings, I meditate on the grace of the true name." He says in Guru Granth Sahib, I think he says about the chanting of Narayana. Nanak Smir Narayana. There is a verse where he says about how he chants the names of Lord Narayana every day in the morning. Right? In Buddhism also, the Buddhists also practice the repetition of names of Lord Buddha. Right? So this is common in all religions, across the world religions, how the names of Lord is very, very important. So that is the power of a mantra. So Sanatana Dharma, major religion is about chanting. Okay, Sanatana Dharma mainly recommends about the repetition of the holy names of the Lord in the form of mantra. Just like Dhruva Maharaj, when he was he wants to leave the palace and he wants to go to the forest, because he wants to gain kingdom bigger than his father kingdom, because he got insulted by his stepmother, and he met Narayana. Narad Muni on the way, and Narad Muni gave him the mantra when he was determined to see Lord Vishnu. Narad Muni gave him mantra. What was the mantra? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So that was the prescribed mantra for that yuga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And he chanted that mantra, and then he perfected, and then he saw Lord Vishnu and he got all the boons he was desiring for. And then after seeing Lord Vishnu, what was his realization? His realization was, I was aspiring for the broken pieces of glass, leaving aside the diamond. That was his realization. He speaks very beautifully. Dhruva Maharaj, as soon as he sees Lord Vishnu, he did not know. He is a 5-year-old boy. He did not know even what to say. And then with the blessings of Lord Vishnu, he starts reciting the stotras of beautifully glorifying Lord Vishnu. And then he says, I was leaving aside the diamond and I was looking after broken pieces of glass. That was his realization as soon as he sees Lord Vishnu. So he achieves that perfection by chanting the name of Lord Hari, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That was the power of mantra. Right? And we'll see some of the scriptural differences about the prescribed mantra for this age of Kali Yuga. So this is Kali Santa Upanishad. Kali means this is the yuga in which we live, and Santa means devotees. Santa means bhaktas. Tara means that which deliver or swimming. Like Tarana means like swim. So how to swim across this huge material? I mean, like this life of in this life, in this Kali Yuga, how to swim across. So it says, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Iti Shodakashkam Nam Kali Kalmasu Nasanam Natha Parataro Paya Sarva Vedeshu Drishtate. This is given in Kalisantar Upanishad. After searching through all the Vedic literatures, one cannot find a method of religion more sublime for this age than the chanting of Hare Krishna. This is 16 syllable mantra. So iti shodakashkam nam iti. So shodak means 16, right? Shodakashkam 16 syllable mantra Hare Krishna. If you count, it will be 16. Krishna means all attractive. Hare means the energy. So we are by chanting this mantra, we are remembering the energy and the energetic. For example, when we say Sita Ram, so Sita is the energy, Ram is the energetic, right? Lakshmi Narayan. Always we approach the Lord by approaching the mother. So Hare is the Radharani, Krishna, and Rama is the reservoir of pleasure. The meaning of Rama, Ramaha, it is very nicely described in Ramayana. Ramyati, there is a sloka. Why Rama was given the name Rama? Because he is the reservoir of pleasure. So we this mantra has 16 syllables, and we are addressing both the energy and the energetic. So that's why it is very powerful and very prescribed, the right prescribed mantra for Kali Yuga. And it is described in Kalisantar Upanishad. And in Brahmanda Purana also it is said, Nama Sankirtana Deva Tarakam Brahma Drishtate, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So the Nama Sankirtana, public chanting, Nama Sankirtana means we discussed, right? Japa means something that you do it yourself early in the morning. How you do meditation, that is japa. Sankirtana means is congregational chanting of the names of Lord Hari. The Nama Sankirtana, public chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, delivers complete revelation of all spiritual reality. And there are more scriptural references. Kaler dosha nidhe rajan astihe eko mahan gunaha kirtanad eva krishnasya mukta sangha param vrajet. My dear king, although Kali Yuga is full of faults, we'll go why it is full of faults. Kali Yuga is full of faults. There is still one good quality about this age. It is that simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can become free from material bondage and be promoted to the transcendental kingdom. It is described very nicely in Srimad Bhagavatam, because this Kali Yuga is full of faults. How? Nobody follows any dharma. Adharma becomes it takes the first place, and all the illicit activities like meat eating, gambling, intoxication, illicit sex, the four things that destroys the four pillars of dharma. We discussed in last lecture what are the four pillars of dharma. Do you all remember? First one is what? Satyam. Satyam, how the pillar of Satyam get destroyed, how the pillar of Tapasya get destroyed by following the four, by not following the four regulative principles. Meat eating, gambling, intoxication, illicit sex. These are the four things that destroys the four pillars of Dharma, right? So that is why the Kali Yuga, which embraces these four illicit activities, that's why the Kali Yuga is full of faults. Even in such a yuga, such a degraded yuga also, one can uplift themselves easily by chanting the names of Lord Hari, and you get the same benefit as you do tapasya in Satya Yuga, which is very difficult. I mean, going to a forest and doing the kind of tapasya for thousands of years is not practical in this day and age. And also conducting yajnas is also not easy, and even doing elaborate deity worship like they used to do in Dwapar Yuga is also not conducive in this day and age. Nobody even knows mantras properly. They can't even pronounce. We can't even pronounce mantras properly. Forget about conducting such purifying yajnas and all. I mean, during those times, the yajna was performed in such a way that even when an animal is sacrificed, it gets a human life right away after the yajna. That was the power of mantras and the brahmanas, the qualified brahmanas, who how purely they used to perform such kind of yajnas. But that kind of yajnas is not necessary, and we cannot also perform in this day and age. Some people try to do that, but it is not necessary for this day and age of the most important is the Mahamantra, how you can deliver yourself just by chanting the Mahamantra. That's what it is described nicely in Shastras. That is the, see, everybody, even the demigods, it's described in Shastras, is even the demigods fear, the sages fear when the Kali Yuga comes. They don't want to take birth in Kali Yuga because how degraded the Kali Yuga is. But one benefit in Kali Yuga is very easily you can attain Lord Hari compared to other yugas. That's the only benefit you have in Kali Yuga. Even though the age itself is full of quarrels and hypocrisy, the one benefit you have is just by chanting the names of Lord Hari, you can transcend. And in Narayana Samhita, it is described, Dvapariyar Janair Vishnu Pancharartri istu Kalaivaha Kalai Kevalai Kalautu Nama Mantrena Pujite Bhagavan Harihi. In the age of Kali, people should simply chant the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the names of Lord Hari. And there are more scriptural references. Hare Nama Eva Kevalam Kalau Nasti Eva Gatiranyata. So in this age of quarrels and hypocrisy, this is the age of quarrels and hypocrisy, and we see that around, right? Full of quarrels and hypocrisy. The only means of a deliverance is the chanting of the holy names of Lord Hari. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. That is described very nicely in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in Adilila. So when something is stressed 3 times, that means it is very, very important. It says, Hare Nama, Eva Kevalam. So they are stressing it 3 times. When something is said 3 times, that means it is very important. Harinam is the Kevalam. Kevalam is the only solution in this age of quarrels and hypocrisy. And it's also described in Srimad Bhagavatam, Etavan eva lokesmin pumsam dharmaha paraha smritaha bhakti yogo bhagavati tannama grihnadabi. Devotional service beginning with the chanting of the holy name of Lord Hari is the ultimate religious principle for the living entity in human society. So the chanting of the names of Lord Hari is described everywhere in the scriptures. It is very, very important, and is highly prescribed in this age of Kali Yuga. So now we understood a little bit about the power of sound vibrations, and we discussed a little bit about the scriptural references where it is described. And there are many more scriptural references. Only few are shown here, but there are many more scriptural references where it was given the importance of mantra meditation. And now we will see the scientific research about the chanting. Some of the scientific research has been done about the mantras. There is a lot more information on this, but I'm showing only a little bit of it. So there is a professor, David B. Wolf, here in the States. He did scientific research on the effects of Mahamantra, on the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, on the effects of stress, depression, and the 3 gunas. How people transcend the 3 gunas, like a goodness, mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. It's a very, very beautiful thesis, and it's a very big thesis. It's available online. You can all actually go and download it and read it. It's very nicely done study. You'll see a small video. I'll play a small video. I cannot play the sound across, so please try to read the subtitles if you can. So you saw the subtitles. Were you able to read the subtitles? So what they did was in the Florida State University, they performed this a clinical study. They took a group of male and female students, and they also took a group of students chanting something else, like for example, like a Coca-Cola, 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 or something like that, or some false mantra and a prescribed mantra according to the Vedas. So they chanted both, and they did a clinical study, and they found some amazing results. And how it reduced the stress, depression, and all those things. And these are the, this is the research of a group of 31 male and 31 females were done, and the stress levels were measured in a clinical way, and the depressions and how it's all done is described in the thesis. And this was the outcome, how the stress was decreased and how the depression was reduced, and how their sattva guna, the mode of goodness, has increased, waking up early in the morning every day. We also discussed in one of our classes how waking up early in the morning is important, and what is the significance of Brahma Muhurta also we discussed in one of the classes. So waking up early in the morning and deeply setting yourself in meditating the names of Lord Hari, how it reduces the stress and depression, and how it increases your sattva guna and reduces your tamo guna and rajo gunas in our day-to-day activities. And that was the research outcome based upon the research here. And also the benefits of chanting Mahamantra. We'll also say quickly the benefits. So one of the benefits is relaxed state of mind with alertness. So we actually saw this how the sound affects in one of our previous sessions. So the brainwave frequency, how you maintain the brainwave frequency. So there is like from 3 to beyond 18. When your brainwave frequency is beyond 18, you fall into the ADHD category, where attention disorder category, where there was an instance in Japan where the brainwave cycles frequency have gone so high that some people collapsed in the industry, in the car manufacturing industry, collapsed and they died right then. So the brainwave, maintaining the brainwave frequency at 13 is where it's a relaxed state of zone, where you feel happy. If it is less than that, you feel sleepy, drowsy. And if it is more than that, it's an active zone, hyperactive zone. So the mantras helps you to keep your brainwave cycles maintained between 8 to 13. So it gives you a relaxed and happy and joyful state, where you can keep your whole body, mind, and soul in a peaceful state. That's where you can maintain your rhythm of your brain waves by chanting the mantras and the meditation. And another benefit is it burns away all the bad habits. So just like there is a sun is in summer we were having like almost like 100 degrees, right? 105 degrees Fahrenheit. It was so hot. Suppose if you take a piece of paper and put it under the sun, will it burn? It does not burn, right? Even though it is very hot. But if you take a magnifying glass and if you focus all the rays into a pinpointed, you take a concave lens, and if you pinpoint all the rays of the sun onto the paper, and it will start burning, right? That's the kind of effect you will get by chanting the mantras. It will the concentration, how the brain waves, you can concentrate and you can focus. And how it helps in reducing all the bad habit. In for example, in Hare Krishna Society in ISKCON, when the ISKCON was founded back in 1970s, when Srila Prabhupada came to US, all the hippies were completely indulged in I mean, sex life, meat eating, gambling, intoxication, and hippies are like not like normal Americans. They are extraordinary people. Like I mean, they are completely reject everything, and they don't follow any rules or regulations, nothing, and they became happies. Like they were so much addicted to drugs and all. How they live their livelihood is very, even now also you can see there is a Woodstock festival that happens in the US somewhere. Woodstock festival, I guess. If you go there, you will see all kinds of hippies there. how they lead their life. Very, very, eye-opening actually. How they indulge themselves in drugs and all, but they all became happy and they were chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. They were waking up early in the morning and doing meditation, japa, and they clean shaving their head and shikas, and they were trying to get happiness through drugs. They were trying to get high through drugs, but now they started getting high through Sankirtana, Nagar Sankirtana, and chanting the names of Lord Hari, and became very happy. And they started living a very sattvic life. And also freedom from sinful reactions. Like we discussed about these 4 sinful activities, right? How they destroy the 4 pillars of dharma. In last class we studied intoxication, meat eating, gambling, and illicit sex. How they so in our mind there are so many bejas. So like the seeds. So in our mind we always have some kind of desire. These are called the seeds, seeds of desire. There are always some kinds of seeds of desire, looking for an opportunity. The chanting of the mantras kills those unwanted and desires that will lead us to forbidden activities. Like just like it is described, like the seeds that are fried in a pan lose their potency to sprout. Suppose if you sow a seed, what happens? It nicely sprouts, right? But if you put it on a pan and you fry them, then it loses the potency to give birth or to germinate. Then you sow the seed, it cannot germinate. Similarly, the seed like desires in our mind that are wants to indulge when we get an opportunity, that kind of seeds will be destroyed by chanting the mantras. But that's the kind of power by the holy names of Krishna. And other benefits of chanting Mahamantra is relief from unwanted material desires. That's what we discussed. In the present condition, we are slaves to any whimsical thoughts and desires. We always have some kinds of desires. We want this, we want that. I mean, we are always constantly distracted. In this current age, the most dangerous thing is not one is mass destruction, but the more dangerous thing than mass destruction is mass distraction. We are always distracted. But the mantra, when you completely absorb yourself in mantra, it keeps you focused from getting distracted and also desiring for unwanted material desires. And the chanting of, we'll also see some of the benefits of chanting Mahamantra. Some of the people who chanted this mantra regularly and what are their experiences. So he's a person, he's a owner of a health food, he's a farmer. He says, if I start my day on spiritual note by chanting Hare Krishna, I can make it through the day in a pleasant mood. So like we discussed, how it keeps the mantra keeps our brain waves in 8 to 13 zone. So it's like a human, it's like a shield. It's like you're charging just like you charge your phone every day in the morning, like that you're charging yourself, and it acts like a shield to the external elements and keeps yourself in a nice pleasant state. And another person is a Toronto health spa proprietor. He says, chanting Hare Krishna and reading authorized books on Krishna consciousness has brought me great peace. So that was his experience. And Hema Malini, you know her, right? She's a very famous actress and she's also a member of parliament in India right now. Let's create a magic through the power of prayer. Let's chant together Hare Krishna, end all the sufferings. Let's make a very beautiful and peaceful world. And another person is he's a CEO of a printing press. He says, when I'm stressed out, I chant. It's one thing which charges my batteries. It clears my mind and brings me back in focus. So stress in this day and age is the most common thing everybody goes through, right? Stress is one of the biggest problem getting stressed and the kind of things that after stress, the effect of people go through after they are stressed. Probably you all know better than I do because some of you are doctors. Mrs. Sally, she's saying, when I'm nervous, I find chanting very calming. I don't get shaken up at little things. So that was her experience by chanting. And an army officer He's saying my outlook towards life is a lot brighter after starting to associate with Hare Krishna devotees and chanting the Mahamantra. So this was prescribed in our Vedas. It's chanting the names of Lord Hari is very common in Vedic practitioners. But even the Westerners were also being able to experience the benefit of chanting the Mahamantra. That's like a testimony, right? Because it's the same thing, like we don't we lose the it's like we have the diamond already and we are searching after the broken pieces of glass. So we have the shastras, the wisdom, everything is given in our Vedic literature, and we lose that and we search for this the benefits through other means. Whereas the Westerners, when they are adapting to the Vedic culture, they are actually experiencing the bliss of the Vedic culture. And he's an associate professor in the Western Kentucky University. He says, I have noticed that as chanters progress from one level to deeper level, they become more realistic, more tolerant, and more energetic. Realistic means we are already, for example, if you're watching a movie, what happens? Movie is something not real, right? It's a man made up story. Here this world is already so much in disturbed state, and in the movie you are again pulling yourself into illusion, much more illusion. Whereas when you chant the mantras, you go from the superficial level to a deeper level where you become more realistic. Instead of you're being prone to illusion, and you're becoming more realistic and more tolerant and more energetic. And this person is Hrishikesh Mafatlal. He's a CEO of Mafatlal Fabrics. He lives in Mumbai. He's a very big businessman. He manages hundreds and hundreds of businesses. Very rich man. And he says chanting Hare Krishna has helped me face all ups and downs in my life with great confidence and peace of mind. So how he was able to maintain his peace of mind through chanting. So it all, like we discussed, it not only delivers, it not only helps in this life, but also helps you to deliver in the next life and beyond through elevating your consciousness. And George Harrison, he's a very famous musician, Beatles band. He's one of the pioneers in this kind of music. I don't know the name of the music. He is a Britisher. He's very famous, George Harrison. He also practiced mantra meditation. He said chanting he is no longer alive right now. He passed away several years ago. But when he was practicing, he said like chanting is really a process of having realization of God. That's the easy way to connect to God. And this is Alfred Ford. He's the CEO of the Ford Motor Company. And he says, I started chanting Hare Krishna mantra on my beats and studying books. Chanting Lord Krishna's name changed my lifestyle completely. He's Ford Motors, right? Ford cars, trucks, and everything. He's actually he's a grandson of the original Ford who established the company. He's a Ford. He even took initiation into Brahma Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, and right now his name is Ambrish Maharaj. I mean, he practices daily. He chants daily, and he practices the lifestyle of Bhagavad Gita, and he practices the lifestyle of Srimad Bhagavatam even today. And this is one important mantra, Panchatattva mantra. These are the pioneers who propagated the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I'll just recite this mantra. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So these are the names of the Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Mahaprabhu and Advaita Gadadhara and Srivasa. These are the pioneers who propagated the Hare Krishna Mahamantra started in 1600 in India. I mean, it was there all the time, but people forget, right? People give up their practices, and again this was propagated and throughout the world. At that time they predicted that every nook and corner of the entire world, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra will be chanted. Even now we can see all over the world. I mean, there are almost like in 180 countries where there are people who chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and living a life of a Vedic lifestyle and living happily. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and chant and be happy. So that is the end of today's discussion on the importance of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra and chanting the Lord's name of Hari and the power of mantras. So we quickly go through the summary. We discussed about the effects of sound vibration, and we also discussed the process of self-realization in different yugas, Yuga Dharma. So what was the Yuga Dharma in Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and in Kali Yuga especially is the chanting the names of Lord Hari is the best way. And scriptural differences, we also have given the scriptural differences and how the scientific study, what is the scientific study on the effects of a Mahamantra. So you can also start chanting every day in the morning, wake up early in the morning, you can chant like 108 times. So if you can chant it on beats, or you can chant on your fingers. For example, each finger is divided into 3 parts, right? So you can chant on fingers like Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That is one mantra. Again, you go to next mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. So like that, if you chant 9 times, 4 fingers, it will be 12 times. You're chanting the mantra 12 times. And if you chant 9 times like that, it is 108. 108 is one complete mala, right? You can usually it will take around like 7 to 8 minutes to chant one mala. You can chant on beats, or you can sit nicely, get up early in the morning in the Brahma Muhurta and wash up yourself nicely, evacuate yourself nicely, take bath and sit nicely in front of your deities, light a nice deepa, a diya, and then nicely sit and chant. You see chant for for 1 week or 10 days, and you will see the difference in your own life. And if you don't like it, you can give up, but you can try. Definitely you can try. That's one way to easily connect yourself to the Supreme Person according to our Vedic literatures. Chanting the mantras is very, very important, and everybody, even children, we have to teach children also chanting the mantra. Repetition. Mantra means repetition. Slokas and bhajans are different. Stotras are different. Mantra means, mantra meditation means repeating like Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, like that. Repeating the mantra is called mantra. So in Kali Yuga, it is prescribed the 16 syllable mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, is the prescribed mantra. It is the Maha Mantra of the age of Kali. So if we practice that daily, it will help us in many ways. You can see in your own life by practicing. Just try for like 1 week, 10 days, sit and chant for like 2 rounds, maybe. 2 rounds means 108 mantras is 1 round, and another 108 mantra is like 2 rounds. You can take beads and you can chant on beads, and it will take around 15 minutes. And if you chant 4 rounds, it will take around half an hour. So 20 minutes to half an hour is a very, very good meditation to start with. I also do chanting every day in the morning. I chant for 2 hours. I chant 16 rounds on the beats. It takes 2 hours. I wake up at 4 in the morning every day, and I clean myself, and then I sit at 4:30 to 6:30 before going to work. I chant, and you try to deeply absorb yourself in the meditation of Lord, in the names of Lord Hari, and then go to work. The whole day is very peaceful. And it not only helps in your day-to-day life, it helps your health, it helps your stress levels, it also removes your bad habits, just like you're burning all the bad habits. Hari means removing everything. Remove all the unwanted things is Hari. So you'll remove all the unwanted things. You will develop clean habits. You'll develop all the bad habits will go away, and it will help in this our life, our existence in this material world, in this life, and also to give us the moksha also, like to not to come back again, take birth again in this material world and continuously suffer. Any questions? Is that clear? And does it make sense?
It was good. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Very clear, Guruji. I mean, excellent. I mean, the class was very good. Totally, I got absorbed into this, and hopefully I'll chant. I used to chant long back ago, but I'll start. I think I'll start chanting again.
Yeah, it's very, very good practice. You also have to tell kids also. I mean, you don't have to force anybody. It should come naturally. Kids, but usually when parents do, kids easily do it. The best way to tell somebody is to be the example. I mean, words don't inspire anybody, but our own example inspires others. If we live a lifestyle, that is the lifestyle inspires others. So if we do, our kids also easily gets inspired from parents, and it will help us. Also, it will help our kids also. Yeah.
I agree, Guruji.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's out of the context here, but I just wanted to share something about my own child. So Akshat and I started reading Bhagavad Gita book when he was first year in college. So basically not the slokas themselves, but we wanted to just know the meaning of all the slokas. So we started together. We used to set aside Saturday afternoons, actually afternoon and evenings, something around this time. So when we started, we used to read the slokas and the meaning. And due to my work constraints, sometimes I lagged behind. So he couldn't wait. As months went by, whenever I missed that Saturday evening once in a while, so he used to read by himself, and he never used to read then he did not read the slokas and the meanings. So he left the Sanskrit slokas by itself, because as a child it was difficult for him to focus on the slokas, and then he was so impatient, he just wanted to know the meaning. And then he finished before I finished the book, and even though I read the entire Gita, I still don't know. I have a lot of questions. I don't think I have got the gist of the basic meaning of Gita too. Still, really, I still have to learn a lot. So and that's why I'm so interested, and that's why I asked you to actually initiate these classes and everything, so that we could all learn together. But my child, suddenly he finished 18th chapter, and then he comes. He announces, "Amma, I've finished everything. I've read." And then he says, "After reading this book, one thing I understood is there is only one supreme God. We don't have to. All others are demigods. There's only one, and only one mantra we have to learn is this mantra, the Maha Mantra. That's all. And we don't have to. It's easy. Whatever you said today, it's easy to get connected to God, right? So I don't think he is doing this, but that is what he understood as an 18-year-old. He made out of this, but it's been a year now, maybe 6-7 months now. I don't think he is into Gita. He is distracted with his own, worldly things, his college and other things. But hopefully he will get to wherever he is ought to be, and then he will learn. He will learn to chant. He's never chanted, but this is all came from his own self. So though he is not here in the class today, I wish he is taking his genetics exam, second year genetics exam at this time. I wish he was here with us today in the class. so that he would have understood, and then it would have made a lot of difference. I really missed him during this class today. I just wanted to share with you all this.
Yes, yes. Very nice to
Hopefully my
know.
son
See,
goes into the right path and keeps in the right path. That is what I wish as a mother, that my son should make all good choices in his life and keep himself in the right path.
definitely. I
So,
mean, see, it's
but then
called
I definitely miss him. I mean, he missed the lesson. So the recording, I'm gonna make him listen to it tomorrow or whenever he has some time, so that he really missed a very good class today.
we
So I
record,
just
right?
wanted to share this
Try
video.
to share the recording, and then hopefully it will benefit somehow. Small, insignificant effort,
Yeah.
but hopefully it will help somebody. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
I really enjoyed being here, even though I said I can't make it. Appreciate your time and your efforts to make it simpler and easier for us to perceive these things. Thank you.
Thank you so much for attending. Thank you. Okay, then we'll end the session here today. I will try to upload the recording and I'll share it with you.
Thank you.